Good evening, Australia. Welcome to the show. I'm Michael Kuzilny, and thank you very much for watching all these years. You know, it's amazing the people who've come on the show, authentic, down to earth. Everyone's gone through difficult times, but, love the stories. And Nicole Martin's on the couch. What a beautiful journey you've had.
I have, very interesting.
Who is Nicole Martin?
I'm 53 years. I've been through some really tough times over my years, and I just keep getting up and keep going for it.
Wow.
It's
a mixture,
Nicole.
Tough times, but also great times. So tell us about some of the more difficult times first, and then...
Sure. Well, back in 2016, I was crossing the road going to the gym. I actually got hit by a car and didn't see the car. He went through a green light on me. So I saw him. I realised at that stage he was probably only this far away from me, that he wasn't going to stop. So thank goodness, with all my taekwondo that I did, I actually tried to leap over the bonnet, landed my body, because obviously I was very used to getting thrown all the time, and kept my head off the ground. Saw my life flash by me and saw my girls, and just thank God that he didn't run over my legs. I ended up with a broken shoulder and rotator cuff.
Ended up in hospital?
Ended up in hospital.
God bless you.
Not great.
Because my shoulder's hurting at the moment. I keep on doing this Muay Thai, karate and everything, but it keeps on re-aggravating. They take a long time, shoulder injuries.
It takes a long time.
So, Nicole, in a nutshell, the elevator pitch, I always say, I'm a criminal defence lawyer, and people always go, this is my story. I go, the elevator pitch for this great lady, 53, she looks about 31, single mum, got divorced along the way somewhere, grew up in Gippsland, bought a pub at 30 and went bankrupt in 2011. Mm-hmm. See, I remember well. So a great mixture, but buying a pub. I mean, I was a copper for 10 years, so I know that, when you're dealing with drunks, you can put up with almost anything, can't you?
You can. I think in hospitality, you've just got to go with the flow.
Yeah.
And I had a boss many years ago, and he'd tell me it's all part of the show. So that's how I viewed it.
Any blues in the pub?
Oh, a few.
Did you ever jump over the bar and just go bang?
No, I think too, being a female, it's very easy to persuade people to come and have a drink with me.
Yeah.
So instead of people getting upset, they're not physically going to be threatened by me.
No.
So I would just simply talk to them and say, I'll come over here and I'll buy you a drink and let's have
What
a chat.
pubs again? There's one in Richmond, which I've been to, but you had it before. What's it called?
It was called the Dover Castle back then. Very different clientele than what would be in there now.
And
so it's now called the Boozy Rouge.
That's right.
So on Bridge Road.
Yeah.
We're there for 3.5 years, which I loved. I think it took about 20 years off my life.
Yeah.
But then we bought the Flying Duck Hotel in Parramatta.
Right.
Which I love. So very, very different clientele, very private school, but great. Like, I loved it. We licensed for 350 people.
If I bought a pub and I saw all those beautiful wines and stuff, I reckon every now and then I'd get completely hammered on the nice wine. Do you do that when you have a pub? I know Andrew would. Where's Andrew gone?
The thing is, obviously, you get, my hard and fast rule was I never drank while I was working.
Ever.
No. After work, certainly,
afterwards?
with staff, especially during December, very busy. We'd have up to 750 meals a day.
Isn't that
during
amazing?
December.
Full on.
Couple of drinks after work, many a times.
Full on, Nicole Martin. It's amazing. You've got two beautiful daughters, Tegan and...
Charlie. So they're 17 and 19. Charlie's doing VC this year.
Wow.
Tegan's trying to get in the army at the moment.
And they've got a determined mum.
They have
run over. But ran into a car, bought the pubs. Why do you think the business went bankrupt?
I was actually in Gippsland at that particular time. The cafe, the restaurant, was attached to a 396-seat theatre.
Yeah.
What happened was the council actually spent $1 million on putting in a music pit, and that stopped me from having functions. I used to do a lot of functions down there. Taking away the function part of my business dropped my turnover by 40%.
Right.
For a year. Just not viable. And that's why I feel so sorry for hospitality at the moment, because I know what they're going through.
And it's difficult, folks. You put in all that blood, sweat and tears for, 10, 15, 20, sometimes 30 years thinking, wow, I'm going to retire to have a good life, and all of a sudden it's all taken away from you, and And it does hurt. You think all those hours and all of a sudden it's all gone, and there's a bit of self-pity, but how do we rebuild from that?
Well, the thing is, at that particular time, being in a small country town, no one would employ me. So for 3 months, I actually went and did aged care for a year, which I absolutely loved.
Good on you. Nicola did aged care.
It was really beautiful looking after people that are passing, like obviously they're dying.
Yeah, you meet all the families and stuff, yeah?
We do. It was a really beautiful industry, but not great with young children.
No.
So I used to travel back to Melbourne every week to come and do my taekwondo. And
that's another thing. It's a beautiful journey. She's done so much, but a third black belt third Dan in taekwondo. Mm-hmm. See, a lot of the time we rush past things, but that's amazing. That's fucking amazing. Isn't it funny? We just meet people on the street. Oh, this is my name, blah, 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 phone number. But she's a third Dan taekwondo. Not Zendukai, not, what am I doing at the moment? I forget. What's the name? I forgot. What am I doing at the moment? I can't even remember. But Muay Thai.
Oh, okay.
It's good.
It's fantastic because the thing about martial arts is when you're sparring or fighting with someone, you can't think about anything else but what's in front of you.
You're so much in the moment. It's good discipline,
It's like
though.
a game of chess, really.
And I really think the discipline it rubs off on one part, I think the way you do one thing, you do all things. So always when I see people with dirty cars, I know they've got a dirty mind and the house will be dirty, So I always look at people's cars to see how organised they are. How we do one thing is how we do all things.
Well, it's true.
Isn't it? You have a very clean car. Did you come in by the car? I'll have a look.
I did. It is clean.
Is it clean?
It is.
All right, we'll talk about your bodybuilding championships after the break. We'll be back shortly. This lovely lady on the couch, Nicole Martin, should have a T-shirt which says "Never give up," or "I'm an overcomer," or "Get out of my way, piss off." Discipline, I love it. There's so many times you could have fallen into the pit of self-pity and stayed there and started popping antidepressants like most of the population right now. But you love competition. You became a karate champion and also a Australian bodybuilding champion.
Mm-hmm. So for the last 2 years, I've won my division, so 50 plus, so Miss Australia for ICN. I am very disciplined, obviously, with taekwondo, with my bodybuilding, because you've got to be. People say, how do you not eat and drink? Well, if you stick your butt up on stage in front of 500 people in next to nothing in a bikini, trust me, you're not going to eat it.
You know what I love about you, Nicole? You give everything a shot,
Mm-hmm.
Some people are so sheltered, aren't they? They tiptoe around world and, like they don't want to upset anybody. They want to please everybody. And this one here, she throws herself into it, and just doesn't give a single crap about the opinions of other people.
No, I never have.
No. You told
I
me
need
that on
to
the
do
phone.
me.
You do you. So even though
to.
you stand on stage with that great body all trained up and that some people would say, wow, and other people would say, oh, what's she doing that for,
I've had a lot of that.
Of course.
A lot of people have said that to me. I actually originally got into bodybuilding because I ruptured my Achilles.
Yeah.
And didn't want to rupture the other one.
And it's beautiful that you're doing it. But I suppose the answer is because I want to,
It is.
I used to get, why are you doing this? Why are you doing? I said, because I want to. Because,
Exactly.
because we can do what the hell we like.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly right. So still doing taekwondo?
No, I actually stopped. After I broke my shoulder and rotator cuff, someone throwing me on my shoulder would have been absolute.
Tell me about female bodybuilding. So you won 2 competitions.
I've won quite a few, but I've won nationals twice, 2 years in a row, so 2019, 2020.
And where's that, like a big centre or something? Or
It is. Nationals in 2019 was up in Sydney, which was great.
is that amazing?
2020 was in Adelaide, so I trained right through COVID, not knowing if I actually could participate or go. So I was very lucky that I was actually able to still train, and I didn't know till the Tuesday before whether or not I could actually get there. And to go through COVID without any alcohol.
Nicole Martin, are you single?
No, I've got a partner.
All right. I just want to warn that partner. Don't upset this lady because she's been a pub owner, bodybuilder, and martial artist. So he knows, doesn't he?
He does.
He doesn't mess with you. Huh? What I was going to ask you. But this is not the end. So you've done all these things and you then drive along one day and go, fuck it, I want to be a teacher.
Mm-hmm. So back in, after I did go bankrupt, when I was driving down to Melbourne every week, and, when you have a light bulb moment, and I thought, well, what do I really want to do when I grow up? And I've always wanted to be, I was very lucky. I had an amazing PE teacher growing up. He actually, his name was Laurie Payne, and he actually served with the Duke of Edinburgh. So he used to tell us some great stories about the Duke of Edinburgh, and he was actually the only one that used to bowl him out in cricket. So I thought, well, what do I really want to do? So I went back to university. I applied. I was very lucky. There were 750 people applied and 65 positions. So I got back in, and I was living in Sale. My mum, she's in a wheelchair. So before she actually was in a wheelchair, she would come down to Melbourne and look after my children.
What happened to mum? Just arthritis or something?
So rheumatoid arthritis. Yeah. One day she woke up and she was 36 and just crippled with it.
Your dad still around?
Yeah. So Dad turns 81 next.
I'd be a good bloke, wouldn't he? You're looking after her.
He is looking after her.
That's so nice, isn't it? That's beautiful.
Yeah. So she would come down and look after my children for 3 days, but unfortunately I was failing anatomy. I hadn't done science in 28 years.
She helped you?
She did.
Wow.
She'd come down and look after my children, and I was failing anatomy really badly. So I moved my family back to Melbourne because I just I knew that I wanted to be a PE teacher and it was going to be great for my family. And
now you're a PE teacher. Yay, bravo. Yeah. And I think you moved to Beverly Hills?
The school is called Beverly Hills Primary School in Doncaster.
Must have misread. I thought you moved to Beverly Hills and the journey continued.
So the children are absolutely beautiful.
Isn't it amazing? So you've got so many stories to share. Do they realise the type of person they've got, the martial arts instructor, the bodybuilder? What's it like? What's it like at the Beverly Hills Primary School sitting in the mess room? They wouldn't want to screw with you, would they? They just look away? Or
No, they're all good.
Huh?
No,
do they ask you about all the stuff you're doing?
A little bit. The students are really interested in what I do.
That's amazing.
And it's great because obviously with a lot of the boys, if they're doing chin-ups and push-ups, I can show them exactly how to do everything correctly, especially with the children obviously teaching online during COVID and trying to – I would play a lot of the clips for the children to actually – because they're really sad about not going to school. So
you'd be a great teacher. So you've been a teacher for 4 years.
This is my 6th year.
You love it?
I absolutely love it.
Do you?
Yeah. There's nothing better than trying to get inside their brains and push them and motivate them. It is
so cool, sort of having been a mum, having done all the stuff you do to be a teacher now rather than someone who just comes out of uni and, they're still finding themselves.
Exactly. Yeah? Well, the students too, I mean, there's a lot of things that are happening in schools and I can relate to the children. Yeah. I can really explain to them how to achieve things and it's quite funny. I will do the beep test and I always tell them to go to their happy place.
Yeah.
And I'm going, well, think of your favourite holiday, think of your favourite ice cream. And then I went and helped out with the cross country and I was telling the students, all right.
We might have a short break and we'll find out how you deal with the naughty students at school. We'll be back very shortly. Well, thank you very much for watching. Tough Times Never Last. And whatever you're going through, just go through it. Quite often we think, I've got to fix this or fix that. Just go through it. And, time always heals. It really, really does, And just from all the guests we've had on tonight, it just shows you that life doesn't need to be perfect to be wonderful. Life doesn't need to be perfect. In fact, no one's perfect. But it seems like, Nicole Martin, you just want to tick off all these things and, when you're ready to die, it'll be great. You go, well, I've done it all,
Hopefully that's not the
You'll be sliding to the end going, wow,
Well, I think tough times makes you stronger. You've got to take the positive out of that.
Yeah.
And then sometimes those times will push you in another direction that you didn't think of.
I love that. Well, quite often people love their comfort zone, the comfort zone relationships, comfort zone work, comfort zone places, and they never go anywhere. And all of a sudden, bang, something happens, and the universe or life takes you somewhere where you think, wow, because you had to get out of that. But you're amazing. You're 33. You've got 2 beautiful daughters aged. You look at me. All right, 53. We're getting on.
I like 33 better.
You look 33. Great mum. Both daughters are also black belts, not just first, second.
Second.
So you've been a great mum. Worked in the pubs, owned pubs and restaurants, went bankrupt, area teacher, and a bodybuilder, an Australian champion bodybuilder. Tell me about those titles.
Well, back in 2019, I competed in the VIX, which is in Melbourne, and then went to Sydney to compete there. It was a huge journey. And won on the day. There was lots and lots of tears. My coach wasn't there on that day. She was in Melbourne. So I rang her up and she didn't answer. And then she rang me back, and I've got some great shots of actually me ringing her at that particular time. But really close friend of mine always comes to every comp of mine. So as I'm on stage, she's crying, I'm crying.
So Nicole Martin, I remember I was a DJ at the Palace many years ago, but they had bodybuilding competitions, and from what I remember, or maybe it was the strippers, I can't remember, but they put a song on and they come out and dance.
No, we don't dance, thank goodness, because I'm not good at dancing.
You talk?
No, we do posing, so we'll do symmetry.
Oh, yes.
So it's quarter turns, and then we'll have our 5 different poses, so it's double bicep, tricep, our back, abs. And then we'll have like what we call a pose down.
Oh, this is exciting. Let's go.
So normally the music's ramped.
It'd be such a great feeling because you'd be cutting up, you'd be eating the right food, you'd be having the bronzers on, and then oiling up, and you feel great about yourself.
Well, it's all about the journey because I love the training.
Yeah.
I'm very fortunate. I train with one of my best friends.
Yeah.
So we call it the House of Estrogen. So we work out 5 days a week together. We laugh, we cry, we workshop life.
Wow.
It's all about the sisterhood and empowering each other. So, and then on the day, it's all about celebrating that. So my 2 girls come, my girlfriends come.
I was just about to say that. If I did it, I'd have a whole cheer squad there to make a bit of noise.
Oh,
do you bring them along?
I certainly do.
They have a few drinks beforehand, or they go to the pub beforehand?
Well, no, I bring a couple of bottles of champagne and a bottle of vodka, and I take the champagne glass, and it's a pure celebration on the
afterwards,
day.
because
then
before
we crack the donuts and
amazing
and everything else that we can eat.
It's cool. And then after the competition, you relax a bit. And
I certainly do. So we normally, I always go out that night. I'll have some lunch.
Where was the last time you had Kentucky Fried Chicken?
Oh, it'll be a while. I love Kentucky Fried Chicken too. Probably just after the last time I competed, which was last year in December. So
Oprah was saying in a recent interview that as females, you would say, don't say too much, don't stand out too much, stay on the wayside, How do we empower women to excel and show their brilliance?
I think you've got to be real. You've got to be who you are and not try and be someone else. Only you can do you. So I've always, I don't know, I've always just been me. I've never gone to the beat of someone else's drum.
How do you deal with bullies?
Head on.
What do you say to them?
Well, I think you just got to just meet them head on and say, no, your behaviour is not acceptable. I remember at the age of 10, I had one of the bullies, and I just gave it straight back to him. And I think that's the way you've got to.
Have you ever had a bitch fight?
Not a bitch fight, but I did have a fight in Taekwondo. There was a particular person that didn't have the right mindset, that was taking on all 6 of us girls going for our black belts. And she was bullying all of them, and I just met her head on. So I gave it straight back to her.
Amazing.
I
Nicole,
won't pick a fight, but
you've
I'll
got
leave
such
it.
a beautiful disposition and such a decent person, but I can imagine kids can be quite disruptive sometimes. And do you use your karate instructor techniques to subdue them, or tell them
No.
just be quiet, Johnny?
Not at all. I think too, every child's different, and each child, when they're misbehaving, there's always a reason behind it.
Yeah.
So it's trying to get down to, I'm always trying to find out why a particular child is acting a certain way, and then trying to deal with that. And you've got to deal with each child differently. So humour is a great thing. Being cheeky to them, getting them to come around to what you're actually thinking, and also to 99.9% of kids love PE.
Oh, they definitely would.
They really do, and just trying to get the kids motivated and physical.
I was going to ask you, Nicole, because you see them every day, do you know, have you had cases where there's been a really sort of bad parenting, and you found out about it through the kids? Like,
there's some very sad situations, obviously, in life.
yeah, but you fix it.
Well, the thing is, you just try and do your best, and you try and encourage the children, and show them some respect and love.
Nicole Martin, thank you very much for sharing your 53 years of amazing life in 24 minutes. God bless you, darling, and I wish you, you're only young. The first 50 years were great, but the next 50 years are going to be even better. And viewers, thank you very much for the pleasure of your company. We'll see you next week. Love and best wishes from Michael Kuzilny. Good night.